Next thing I want to focus on. At several different grappling competitions recently, several of the competitors at the gym that I train at, as far as I can see, a lot of competitors from around the state, from around the area, have had one common theme with the guillotine. Two common themes. One, they're not doing it correctly. And two, they're not escaping it correctly either. To escape the guillotine, which is what this video is going to be about, we want to have the arm in. Just because there's an arm in guillotine doesn't mean that you can't get the guillotine choke. You do have to move your hips into a different direction than a traditional guillotine, but it is possible. So just because you get an arm in on a guillotine choke, don't think you're completely out of danger. You go against a guy that knows how to twist his hips a little differently, and you're going to get choked repeatedly. So what we want to do is we want to look at some common ways to escape the guillotine from a couple different positions from the guard, which is where I see it being pulled from mostly. Common scenario, guy shoots for a double leg, he grabs the double leg, however his opponent hooks the guillotine and falls back into guard. So now you've got one guy deep into the guard because he just shot a double. He's deep into the guard and he's got a pretty deep guillotine on him. Let's look at how to get out of that. So as with any other submission, once the guillotine is locked in, I will pass out. Okay, so don't think that every time somebody tries to guillotine you that you're good to go. But what we do want to do is kind of show you a couple of different options that you have. So my opponent gets a guillotine, and he's going to go ahead and start working it. Now, this hand has to start grabbing in on his wrist. We're going to show this from another angle. But I have to start rolling his thumb down my chest. I then have to create pressure on him. He's going to try to close his guard, and he's going to start cranking, and I'm going to get tapped. So, tripod, and create space. Now, I'm still fighting the grip with this hand. This hand is going to find his other elbow and start pushing it away. So my opponent gets a good grip. I'm rolling it. I'm pushing away. I like to even get this arm in here, put it on the floor, and glue it to the ground. Now I can start driving my hips toward it, rolling the guillotine, getting my head out of there, getting out of danger. Let's look at it from this side so that you can kind of see the other angle. We're here. Immediately, this hand has to come in and start relieving some pressure or I'm going to go to sleep. So I have to start alleviating that pressure here. Next, my opponent, he rolls back to his back. I've got to come up and tripod. This hand, find the opposite elbow if you can. Put it in between your opponent's body and his elbow and glue it to the ground. Now, rolling my opponent's hand, rolling it down my chest. I want to open up his head, or open up his arm with my head, and as soon as I feel the grip break, get rid of it, coming back into a good safe position in the guard. Okay? Let's look at another alternative. Another scenario that I saw recently at a Naga, guy comes up and he's got a guillotine. But the other guy had sat up. So it's a guillotine, but they're basically sitting up. And one of the options that he had was to grab his own guillotine, at least break his posture to get out of that position. There are other submissions, so before anybody comments and says, wait, you're going to be open for this, that, and the other, I understand that. But right now, you've got a pretty immediate submission you better deal with. So my opponent gets a guillotine, and I start sitting up, and he sits up with me. And this is the position they got stuck in. Now, immediately, again, got to create some, alleviate some pressure. This hand reaches up and around and curves down. I'm going in this direction, okay? So this is the part where, yes, I understand that you are open to an inverted armbar and a couple other things. However, you're going to pass out if you don't deal with this guillotine. So my opponent grabs the guillotine tight. He's here. I'm lifting at this angle. As soon as I feel the grip break, getting rid of it and coming back here, pushing my opponent down, creating my posture to pass the guard. Two common ways to escape the guillotine choke from the guard position. One, when you have basically shot a double or whatever, you're pretty deep into your opponent's guard. The other one, your opponent was probably already in guard and sat up and caught you while you were trying to posture. And so he's basically sitting up a little bit. It's another way for you to transition out of the guillotine.